Hey, everybody, welcome to Tribute Band Central. I'm Harlan, I'll be your host. We have a very special guest today that I have brought on. Roger Langdon from the Heart of Rock and Roll, America's #1 tribute to Huey Lewis and the News. He and his band will be performing at Mad Life Stage and Studio. That's in Woodstock, Georgia on May 31st, 6:30 and 9 p.m. Two shows. I will be at the 6:31. So looking forward to that. So without further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself, Roger.
Hey, Harlan. My name is Roger. Thanks for having me on, buddy. I appreciate you giving me some time to talk about the show and our band.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you very much. So tell me all about being in a Huey Lewis tribute band.
Well, it's been a blast. We've been doing it. This is now our 13th year we've been
Wow.
doing this. And it just kind of started as a fluke a little over a dozen years ago. I was in another band just doing covers and things like that. And then somebody who would see that band looked at me one night and said, You kind of sound like Huey Lewis, and I'd love it if you do a song by Huey Lewis, the News. So we started to work one up. And then during that time, we kind of realized there might be something here to doing a tribute. And never having been in tributes or really, I knew about them, but I didn't really know what the world was like. So kind of just jumped in and we did some research and thought, well, there's not really a Huey Lewis tribute band of note in the country back in 2012, 2013. So we thought we'll fill the void. And 13 years later, here we are playing, over 50 shows a year and all over the country.
Wow, it's incredible. When I was looking at your website, I saw that you're coast to coast, and that is incredible. So tell me a little bit about your musical background. How did you start in music, and what brought you to this point?
Born and raised in Southern California, and that's where I'm at right now as we speak, getting ready to hit the road in a few days. But I was always acting, performing, lots of theater, acted in LA a little bit, musical things, and but I was never in bands until I was in my 30s. And so joined some bands in my 30s. My brother and I had put a band together that it was just a cover variety band. And we did pretty well for about 10 years. And so it was really in my 40s that the tribute thing started to be a part of my life. So we just found it to be a really entertaining way to go. And we thought as long as we do this legit, and I never really thought corny was the way to go or cheesy was the way to go. Never did wigs, never did anything like that. We thought, well, let's try to do this accurately. And being that I kind of look and sound like Huey Lewis, let's just dive in head first and just go for it.
Outstanding, outstanding. So tell me who's in the band. How long have they been with you? What's a little bit of their background and that kind of thing?
Sure. It's a seven-piece band, and that's what you'll see at Mad Life on May 31st. And, when we started in 2012, 2013, it was a different lineup, so lots of changes through the years. Currently, we have a lot of Nashville-based guys.
Yeah.
We've got guys that currently tour with like Jim Messina, and one of our guitar players actually is going to be leaving the band, and he's heading off to tour with Kenny G. And
Oh,
so it's a bunch of heavyweight guys in our band and guys that really just love playing Huey Lewis the News music.
very cool, very cool. I'm Mad Life is located on the north side of Atlanta, and I think one of the key features, I think it draws a lot of the great musicians from Nashville and from Atlanta.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean it's a reasonably close drive for us out of Nashville, and so we're happy to do the show. We've been looking forward to it. We were actually booked at Mad Life, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and for some reason the date had to get moved or adjusted or canceled. So this is really going to be technically our first time there, and we're just really excited about it because we know that place, a lot of great bands come through there.
Very cool, very cool. So, how did you pick Huey Lewis? Was there ever any thoughts of anything else? Obviously, you look like him, the sound, but was there other thoughts of any other tribute bands?
Actually, no. I mean, people kind of will say, why Huey Lewis? And my standard answer is just because I don't look or sound like Taylor Swift. So we're going with what we can do. And I think that's really important in the world of tribute bands is I know it's a lot of bands will get together because the guys just like that artist's music. But I think it really matters if you have somebody that looks or sounds like the artist. I mean, if I look and sound like Mick Jagger, I'm going to be a Rolling Stones tribute. If I can look or sound like Freddie Mercury, I'm a Queen tribute. If I can do Steve Perry, that's what I'm going to do. I think that's important that a tribute does all they can to look and sound like the artist. Huey happens to be that for us. Are they the biggest band ever? No. Are they the most popular band today? Absolutely not. But nobody does it better than we do. We are the number one tribute in the country. We're not the only tribute, but I will say we are the most authentic tribute to Huey Lewis and the News.
Excellent, excellent. So is Huey aware of the tribute band, and does he have an opinion on it at all?
Yeah, actually, because back then there was really not any Huey tributes to speak of for the most part when we started. We were only going for a year, maybe two, and then some folks in the Huey Lewis camp emailed us. And I kind of thought they were going to say, "We'd like you to stop what you're doing, what you're doing," and then kind of a very gentle cease and desist approach there. But no, they actually really were appreciated it and liked it. I think again because we weren't cheesy and corny, we were doing it out of a real genuine appreciation for the music. So we got to meet them really early on. They came to a show in Southern California while we were there. We met, we hung out after the show a little bit. And since then, I've actually become friends with the keyboard player, the original keyboard player and founder. His name is Sean Hopper. And he came to the show just late last year for the first time and saw the entire show live. And after the show, I asked him, "What did you think?" And he just said, "I have stood behind Huey Lewis for over 40 years." He goes, "Man, you look and sound and move so much like him. It was surreal. It was weird to watch." So they're big, they appreciate it and they're fans of us. We love that.
That is very cool. Very cool. So, do you still write your own music, and do you do any performances as Roger Langdon, or is it just totally tribute?
I never have written anything, so I was never an original artist, aspiring person at all. Music was just a side thing that was fun. I had a corporate day job in home construction, so it wasn't anything glamorous. It was the bands were kind of nights and weekends here and there. As our kids got older and were more self-sustained, I could travel and be in, and I kind of started making the band a little more of a thing. And the last few years, it's pretty much my full-time job. And the Huey Band is pretty much my full time. I am starting up some other side projects that are, again, just when I have downtime. That'll be more me, but it's still going to be covers, but it's stuff that's just fun to do on the weekend. Nothing original. I have no original thoughts music wise.
Cool, cool. So, you had mentioned, so this really is your first time at Mad Life.
Yep.
Have you played any other venues in Georgia at all?
No, this is actually our first time in the state of Georgia, period. So yeah, we're excited. I mean, it's not too far away from Nashville. We have two lineups. We have a California-based lineup and we have a Nashville-based lineup. I live in California and I travel to all of them. So I was a little surprised. We play a lot around Tennessee. We just for some reason have not quite, like I said, we had a show at Mad Life a couple years ago. It fell through, but no, this is our first time there, so we're excited.
Excellent. Well, Georgia is lucky to have you.
I hope they have a good
So,
time.
so what's your favorite song to play?
Probably my favorite to sing is a song called Heart and Soul, which was the first single released from the Sports album in 1983, the like 10 times platinum sports album, which was the big album of that year. Heart and Soul was the first single released. I love singing that song. I think performing wise, though, overall, probably Working for a Living is probably the one that really kind of kicks ass.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, speaking of sports, I graduated from high school in '85, so I had that album.
There you go. I was
And
84. I'm right there with you, buddy.
yep, so outstanding,
Yeah.
outstanding. So I haven't played music in a long time. I was a trumpet player in high school and
Oh,
college.
nice.
And so I always ask, what's the most difficult, technically difficult song that you play?
Uh, it's funny because if you ask Huey Lewis the News, they'll say the same song that we're going to say, which is a song called Stuck With You. And it doesn't sound like a complicated song, but there's a swing and a shuffle vibe, but there's also a straight four kind of happening. The drummer's got to kind of be able to get both feels there, a shuffle and a straight. And sometimes it's hard for that song to totally lock in. And like I said, I had Huey even answer that same question. They both said, the drummer said the same thing. That's probably the one that is the most challenging to just lock in.
To get in. Very
Yeah,
cool. Very cool. Well, I want to thank you for taking some time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it. Just one more reminder. So Mad Life Stage and Studio, you've got 2 weeks yet. It is on May 31st, 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m., two shows. For everyone at Tribute Band Central, I will be at the early show. If you see me, please come up, say hello. I think one of the things I love the most about tribute bands is that the accessibility. You know, usually the bands will, say hi, those types of things in between shows and such, and that is so nice from the audience level, and we really appreciate that. So, I in the comments, I will put your website, hueytribute.com.
that's it.
So I'll put some links to that. I'll put the link obviously to Mad Life so you can buy some tickets.
Yeah.
And I'm really psyched up about the show. I can't wait.
I I guarantee you, you are going to have a great time. Even if you're not the biggest Huey Lewis fan, you are going to hear great music played by great musicians, and it is going to be an exciting, fun, absolutely kick-ass 90 minutes that everybody's gonna have a great time, I promise.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. All
Thanks,
right.
Arlen. Nice to meet you.
You bet. Take care.